Todd here. We are looking through How to Talk About Jesus Without Being That Guy by Sam Chan. Our evangelism tip: listen. Listen. Sam Chan here, he relates a story while he's on a plane talking with the person next to him. He says that he was traveling for business, and the person sitting next to you probed, and he's like, "Oh, what sort of business?" "I'm in Christian ministry," I replied. "I'm going to give a talk about Jesus from the Bible." Then, to break the stunned silence that followed, I asked, "Do you have a faith?" The man replied, "When I was a teenager in South Africa, I checked out of Christianity. That's when I found out it was a front for hate crimes against gay people." We need to listen. We need to listen. He says this, "I've learned to ask a question like, do you have faith? It's a good test to see whether they're comfortable in staying in this whole worldviews layer of talking about things that matter. And then no matter how they reply, I respond with, how? Tell me more." I ask questions to invite them to keep sharing, and then I listen. Now, you may think that you're a good listener, but actually, there's things that look like listening but actually aren't. The first form is where you listen, but what you're really doing is waiting for your turn to say what you want to say. It looks like listening, but it's really not. The second form is where you listen, but actually you're working out how to argue against them and why they're wrong and why you're right. Once again, not real listening. Real listening is where you let them talk and try to understand what it is they're exactly saying. Sam gives us a picture of what this is as he relates the end of his story with his awkward traveling partner there on the plane. He says this: "For the duration of the flight, he talked and talked. Every time there was an uncomfortable pause, I sipped my drink and motioned for him to keep talking. As he talked, I practiced active listening. After 90 minutes, he finally stopped talking. I seized the opportunity to show him I'd been listening. From what I hear you saying, you have 3 objections against Christianity. 1, it's homophobic. 2, it's unscientific. And 3, all religions are the same anyway. Have I heard you correctly?" I had. And when I asked if he would like me to respond, he said yes. You see, social interactions tend to be governed by an unspoken rule of reciprocation. If I ask you what you did on the weekend, you return the favor and ask me what I did on the weekend. If I ask if you let me talk for a minute, I let you talk for a minute. If it's 10 minutes, then 10 minutes on the other side. The man on the plane followed these unspoken rules. Because I had let him talk for 90 minutes without interrupting him, he let me talk for the next 60 minutes without interruptions. Afterward, he thanked me for the great conversation. "You made that plane ride go so quickly," he exclaimed. I replied, "Thank you," but inside I was cheekily grinning. Not for me, it didn't. I was exhausted from having done so much talking, but I only got the chance because I had done so much listening first. Our evangelism tip: listen.